don't know what the heck just happened. That was the strangest thing. My phone would not rotate my camera so I could get started. What was I'm so confused. Hold on. I got to get my charger situated here so we get going now. I was all ready to go, and then when I hit go, it was like, nope, camera no worky. Hi, Danza. I made it. So welcome. I got to get myself situated here because my phone was being really retarded, like super retarded. I'm just like, really? Right when I hit go, it's just like wants to not work for me. It's so great. So anyway, grab your cup of Joe, come and enjoy this conversation. Fox always seems to think this is the time to get attention, is right here, right now. What are you doing over here, you crazy dog? Your timing is impeccable. You know that? He's so crazy. Oh, dragon dog. He wants to be on part of the show, I guess. Alrighty. He is my co-star, and when I can get my studio set up for these videos better, you'll probably see him a lot more. It's so funny. All my kids apparently are my co-stars. So let's get to work today. This is what I made already to demonstrate what I'm going to make today. So how is everybody doing today? I feel like I need to breathe and center myself for a second. So how is everybody doing? Hi, Kathy. Welcome. Grand Rising. Yes, Grand Rising, everybody. Tina, I don't know if she's on here yet, but these are her crystals that she sent me, which is absolutely amazing. So what she sent me was like this golden topaz that she had. And it was just like a simple pendant. I'm like, yeah, I can just wrap it, you know, because it's kind of like embossed into it. But, see. Oh, that's crazy, Danza. Holy crap. Missing buses. I wonder, is the turnaround like what, 12, 20 minutes or so? It's crazy. So anyway, she sent me this and said, I want to make pendulum necklaces with these crystals. And so I went to town and I channeled. And because this golden topaz, it's very electric. Like I feel like topaz is similar to like lightning energy and its crystalline radiance, if you will. But this one, given its color, the golden actually activates the solar plexus. So as I was channeling this one, I was just like, oh, like I had to like, you know, I was going to town on this chain. I was just like so channeled and focused. And it was funny because I was actually chatting with Tina on the phone as I was trying to frame it. But these wires that I had were just so dang tough. I can't do the filigree as well as I would hope. So I think I'm going to need to get some dead soft for my larger gauge and then use those stiffer ones for my bracelets because they're really great for my bracelets. But anyway, so it's just been fun. I love channeling all of this stuff, these energies, working with the crystals because they kind of just like talk to me in a way. I don't know how else to explain it. I wouldn't say like it's all feeling. Like that's the best way I can say it's all feeling. And I know that they're not mine. So we are going to tighten this one down just a smidge. It sticks out a bunch. Yeah, I'm sure if I got a torch, I can definitely soften it up. It's another reason why I need to get onto my tools. So the idea of these pendulum necklaces is that the clasp actually goes right back to the base. Okay, and this was just kind of like a dream came through because I was thinking about how to make my own pendulum. And this is kind of what came through was the idea for my healer's pendulum. And the idea is that it comes apart like so, and you can actually utilize them as a tool and a functional jewelry. So the idea then now is that you have a necklace that you can wear and tune to your frequency, and then you can use it as a pendulum as a functional tool. And the idea came is that when you wrap it around your hand, you're actually getting all of your connection to this, which kind of gives it a more powerful, intuitive reading. Um, when I do my pendulum reading, sometimes these things go crazy. So I'll just sit here like this and just start asking questions. And my pendulum, Hermione, I mean, it literally it hits my chest at times when I'm getting such a positive yes. It's just like wham, 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 hitting my chest. It's super cool. So when I make these pendulum necklaces, they are channeled and they are tuned for said person's frequency and kind of where they're at in their growth and their soul journey, what they resonate with. I kind of work with them on it. And Tina was just like, I trust your intuition, go to town and make it. So, what we selected here on your pendulum, Tina, on this one, at the very base is your hematite. This helps with the energy flow between the topaz and the rest of the chain that we got going on here for your body. The next we have black tourmaline. Black tourmaline, again, that negative energy filter, so it helps you remove that doubt as you're working with this one. And then it goes up into, so these are your root chakras, okay? This is your root chakra here. Next, we've got the sacral chakra, which I chose carnelian for you. So carnelian, as I've been learning, is like one that helps you do what you're doing in life, um, through your love. It's that love part of you that kind of comes out. It's that love part that gets into your solar plexus, which is that fire to get in. So this is your ember. This is the root base ember, that start of I love doing what I do. So carnelian is kind of what that, kind of helps bring out within you. And then next up here on your chain, I didn't have golden topaz, or I would have put it here, but for your solar plexus, I chose golden tiger's eye. Again, you had mentioned that you like the darker stones, you're feeling more into the darker, denser stones, so that's why we chose all of these. And then nextly, we have your malachite. Your malachite is that heart center. This is that mineral, super rich with copper, works well with this setup. But what I created for you, Tina, as you're working with this pendulum, is this one is more focused for healing aspects. So as you're doing your stuff with your crystal oils, which, by the way, I love your oils. So amazing. She gave me some prototypes, but they're super cool because they have actual crystals imbued with them. And when she makes them, they are solar charged and lunar charged. And she charges them with vibrational frequency. So her intuition kind of created this amazing oil that I use for aromatherapy, for my body, for everything. And it works so well. When I meditate with those oils, it's like everything just gets flowing. So I've got it on me. I smell like a flower. It's amazing. But the idea with this one is that around the neck, we went with the motherly, nurturing, very grounding, rooting of Mookite jasper. Okay, and it comes in yellows, reds, and whites. Okay, that's what we most often see. And sometimes even purples. So you got purple there, you got mustard there, you got maroon, mauve, the white. Then you got these mustard ones too. This one's really cool because it's white and yellow. So anyway, so this is that nerdly much. And anyway, all of this together, just it felt like this is Tina. Through and through, this is where she comes from when she's doing her light and energy work in this earth. So that's what we created here. But this is for her to ask questions as she's trying to explore and with what she's doing, with what downloads she has coming in. So we tuned this one for that. So when she's asking questions, this is the one she can go to. But that's not the show. Today I'm just explaining what the pendulum necklaces are. They're super beautiful. I customized them. You can wear them, but they detach to be used as a pendulum. Okay? Super cool. And I have them locked in so they're kind of like it'll lock in and not fall out. I have noticed with mine, the way I designed it is sometimes it detaches. So I revamped the design so that it actually locks it in place a little better so it doesn't fall out. So be mindful of that with these. They can come undone. So be conscious of having that. That's the only downfall of the design. But I think my clasp design fixed the solution. So today, this other one that Tina gave me, she mailed these to me, is a Lemurian quartz. Now, she just thought this was regular quartz, right? And I'm looking at it, and I'm seeing these waves and these bands in it, and I'm like, the way that these are layered, especially like right here. I don't know if I can get the glare, hide my face. You'll see the layers in it, but I was like, this might even be a Lemurian quartz. So we grabbed Hermione and we asked, and sure enough, this is actually a Lemurian quartz. Now I've been working with my smoky citrine, Lemurian smoky citrine. I'm gonna go grab it real quick, because it's so I sleep with this one. So this is a Lemurian smoky citrine. If I can get the glance, you'll see those phantoms in there. These are really, really tied to the Akashic. And so as I've been working with my Lemurian crystal, okay, now it's not quartz crystal, this is specifically the solar plexus activation. But this is the, if I can get, here, let's do this. Oh, my flashlight's dead. Anyway, but yeah, so this is what I've been working with. This is a smoky citrine, and this is not treated. This is actually how it's found. So it's often mistaken for smoky quartz. But if I can get the light to come through it, you'll see the amber. See how that smoky citrine comes out? So I've been working with this one. Ooh, those phantoms pop. So cool. But anyway, so I've been using this particular crystal for all of my dream work, and I've been working with my Lemurian crystal very intensely in the astral realm. So why are these so different from all the others? Well, obviously they earn their name because of from smoky, how to tell apart. Yeah, it's the color. This actually has a golden color, whereas some smoky quartz will appear kind of yellowy, but it's not. But yeah, this has got a rich golden color, like your golden topaz here. So anyway, the Lemurian quartz is different from the rest of them. Yes, it carries the vibrational frequency. Yes, it does amplify things just like a normal quartz. But what makes it kind of different is that these actually are carrying Lemurian wisdom in them. So these are coded with the memory of stuff from the time of Lemuria. That's why they are so significantly different from the others, is because these are record keepers. And then you can use these to access their knowledge. And Tina, as you've been mentioning, you've got ties to Lemuria. That's why you have this. It came to you because there's information that you have yet to reveal. And so because we're making this into a pendulum necklace, now this is the one that you ask for your higher self. This is the one that you would use to connect to the Akashic. This is the one that you would use to understand your intuitions. So you have one focus for your crystal healing that you're doing with your oils, which are amazing. And then you've got this one that is essentially kind of like what I've done with my Hermione pendulum. Okay, I chose Celestial quartz for mine, which connects basically to the same frequency as this. However, these carry Lemurian wisdom in them. So I love doing it. So Tina, if you haven't seen it yet, this is what I wrapped. You said you wanted a lot of flow and filigree, so this is what I went with. Super cool. Okay, so let's get started. Before I get started, I better look at my chats here. Okay. Yeah. Oh, Paula made it. Hi, Paula. How are you doing? I love you guys. Anyway, so grab my sip. I'm going to get the channeling. So the choice of what we're going to use, Tina, for your necklace, the beads and the stones that we use, is going to come as we go. Okay? Because I already have a model of what I need to do, we're working in fives. So 5, 5, 5, 5. So you got 4 5s going on here, 20, 2, 0. So that's going to be the pattern that we go. So you're going to have probably, I think we're going to adjust that and go 7 and then 1 5. So 7 7 and then a 5. Anyway, I think that's going to go for one for each of your chakras is probably what we're going to do. Oh, hey, Susan, welcome. Hi, Mona, welcome. So we're about to get started. We're actually gonna create a chakra necklace for this Lemurian quartz that I already wrapped, and we're gonna do a pendulum necklace. I'm pretty quick with these if I can stay focused, but and it shouldn't take very long. I think this last one was like an hour and 10 minutes. But we got a list of beads. I don't know what we're gonna do. Probably gonna need to get more. So anyway. You know what, Tina? This is getting a lava bead for your root chakra. And the reason why I say this is because lava beads are amazing diffusers for oils. So your root chakra on this is going to be a lava bead. I got just the ones. Actually, I got to see. Because I'm going to put... So lava beads, they're very... So we're going to put these little caps on these on your lava beads here. Aw. Okay, Paula, I'd be happy to do a pendulum. Yeah, these are just my standard pendulums, and I can do different lengths. This one is a 7-inch, and I prefer the 7-inch for the swing, so that's why I do it that way. But shoot me an email at my website. My website is Sweet Roxx, Roxx, handcraftedjewelry.com, and I'd love to do one for you. Because I love using the pendulums. Oh, I still have red star garnet in here. Where are... Oh, they must be in this one. There we go. It might be too big. Okay, I'm going to go with the small ones. No. Working on investing into a nice like studio desk so I can organize everything, all my beads, so that's like quick access and I know where it's all at. And stacking on top of each other's stuff is getting annoying. So this month I'll be moving into my house. I'm super excited. So I'm going to be working hard in the week and moving stuff over on the weekend. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so Tina, I'll mock this up. But that is your lava bead there. And I'm not really sure though, because it's kind of pokey. I don't want it to catch on your clothes. We're going to see. Because you said you liked the caps. Where's my big bead? I need to check that big bead. See how this works with the big bead. No, that big bead's too big. Okay. Okay, we're not going to do the caps on those ones. It's just pokey. But we are going to do it on your hematite, though. So we'll put a hematite down below, and then we're for the energy flow, and then we're going to put this one right above it. Okay, that sounds good. Let's get 4 caps out, because we're just going to do one of each. Okay. The reason why I choose hematite is because of its ability to conduct and push energy. Okay, so as you're using your pendulum, you're connecting to your higher self, you're connecting to your own frequencies, your intuition, and then the pendulum is responding to you. And so it's important as you're working with your pendulum to clear your mind, because you can't be biased with your readings. If you're biased with what you're reading in your pendulum readings, it's going to respond to your bias. Okay, so that's why I say do your breathing, do your meditations, do what you got to do to clear your mind so you can just hear what it has to say without whatever. And then just take it for what it is. The other thing I learned with pendulums is don't keep asking the same dang questions. It'll start just swinging and not responding, and then it won't work with you for the rest of your session. So just keep that in mind. That's your oversoul saying you're pushing it, like you're not using this in the right way, and so it closes connection. So if it's not working for you, just focus on grounding yourself and working on your nervous system. Sorry, I got to cut these beads off. Apparently I knotted them up all weird. But that got to be breathing a lot. Breathing is so important when you're using your pendulum and getting that connection, because I almost lost all my beads. That was scary. I was like, oh no. And there's probably like 1,000 beads in there. And I got hardwood floors, so imagine what would happen. It'd just be all over. Okay, so we're going to do hematite on your base there, Tina. And we're going to get started. Where? There you are. Just burn the wires. I did populate my website with some new inventory. And the descriptions on them are really cool. I'm getting better with how to describe them. And then what I do is that description I have in there, I'm making into little description cards that go with your pieces so that you can have the full understanding of what you're buying. So I'm improving my writing skills. Honey Golden said I need to start writing a book. And now that I'm at this point of what I'm writing, I'm just like, yeah, I think I need to write a book. Talk about my crazy shit. And yes, my book's going to have swear words in it because it's my book. My favorite word to use is shit. That's my thing. It's not as harsh as the F one, and it's not as harsh as the C one, and it's just, but it's also kind of funny, but it's multi-contextual, so that's why I use it. Okay, so to start, we're going to take our loop, working on number one, we're going to cross over like so. We'll make a bend, kind of get my eyelet. Then I take my pliers, and then we're just going to wrap it around the top 3 times. If you need to, on your tail, you can use another pair of pliers, whatever you desire. I prefer these little flat, flimsy ones because they work so well. They're like needle nose, but amazing. So anyway, we just go, we just start looping, looping, looping. Okay, so we got 3 twists here. Okay. A little bit there. We're going to nip the tip, as what's his face? Mel Brooks likes to say in that movie. God, what is it? The Robin Hood one. Mel Brooks movie. I forget. Men in Tights. That's the one. Men in Tights. Robin Hood, Men in Tights. Anyway, so funny. Okay, I also like to put a copper accent on the end of these, so we're going to be using 3mm beads on the ends of this. So 3mm copper beads. And the reason why I put the round beads on here is for the energy. Having things in a circumferential kind of helps with that free flow of energy. Again, your aura field is pretty much as big as you can reach, right? Your most powerful part of it. This is your shield. So if your pendulum's in this field, it's your energy. Okay, that's a misnomer with people in the religious aspect saying, "Oh, that's demonic." You're and then the other practitioners, "Oh, negative and outside influences." Yes, negative outside influences can affect your pendulum readings if you're not working on you. That's why I mean, do your breathing, focus on you, like get grounded. And as long as you're doing those things for your inner work, the pendulum can't be affected by outside influence. But you also have to remember where that knowledge is coming from. It's coming from you. You are the one getting that knowledge. Your oversoul, that spark that you're in, can access the Akashic. So when you refine your searches upon asking, they're going to give you that information you need. And that's how it works. All right, so we got my bead here. We go through. And I would love to do Richard's pendulum training. I think it'd be cool. And because I like to grow. So if he's got a way of how he wants to do it, I'm going to listen because I want to know how he's doing it. To refine how what I'm doing. Sure, I can ask my oversoul and find that wisdom that I need. But yeah. Okay, so we're going to do a bigger loop on this end, and the reason why is because I'm going to attach it to this crystal, and I need bigger to go around this here, and I also need it for my clasp to be able to go through. So we're going to go a bit bigger, and then we're going to pop this in like so. So it's interlinked together. Okay. Then we're just going to lay. So don't pull. You're going to lay your copper down. Okay, that's the trick to doing these chain links, is to lay the copper down, because what will happen is your core will bend and wobble, and then you got to sit here and try to straighten it. Okay, so I put a little too much of a neck there, but that's okay. So I'm going to set that there. Crimp these together. Perfect. Okay. Snip this. Take that. Grab my pliers. Lay this down. Okay, and every single link that I do that I snip, each time I'm working with any of my copper, I make sure that I'm laying down each snip. Because if you go and do it later, oh man, you're going to miss some stuff, you're going to forget some stuff, and then you're going to be like, oh, I'm spending so much time. Take care of the burrs right when you're working with it, each time you snip. Okay, so we've got that one attached there. I designed these so they don't fall apart. Okay, if you break one of my necklaces, you really like yanked on it really hard. It's just like, but usually when that happens, the clasp is what will break, not the necklace. So I love that. And all these designs, I didn't learn it from nobody. They came to me and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll do it that way, and then it worked. So it's just how it goes. I kind of like sleep on it. I like to say that. I just like kind of just sleep on it. How do I need to do this? Okay, well, I'm going to go to sleep on it. And off we go. Let's see my rounded ones. Okay. Perfect. I'm going to turn these around. And then when you lay them over, I like to just feel. If it feels scratchy, fix it. So I also use these are like brass and diamond, if you will. So it's like super fine. I think the grit on it's like a 2000 grit file, but I use these ones for the metal because you can real gently rub it off, and it comes out pretty smooth, and then it polishes up really nice. So that's why I use those ones. I just found them at the local craft store. Super amazing. Okay, the next one's the lava bead. So Tina, the lava bead's going to be great because you can rub your oil on them, and they act as a diffuser for your essential oils. So you can then apply your new creation of oil, say when you're done, and just tune it. Rub that oil on this lava bead, and then ask the pendulum, show me the energy, show me the frequency. However, whatever you calls to you when you ask your questions. Put the oil right on it. Say, show me the frequency, and it'll swing for you. If you put together a blend and it does not, like it energetically, it clashes, it may swing counterclockwise. And that's definitely like, oh, I need to refine this recipe. So that's just kind of just came in. That's how you can use this lava bead. But as you're wearing it, you can use it for yourself. So put your own oil on it if you want. Okay. So to size it up, I usually do about an eighth of an inch, a couple millimeters there, gap between here. It's basically the gauge of this wire times 3. So I imagine that length right here. Okay. So that's kind of how I'm making my link size appropriate so that I stay consistent with my twists. Okay. So now that we've got our link here, we're going to interlink the next one together, and then we cinch it in. So these are all custom interlinked, and again, I made it so it eliminates the jump ring aspect. The only time I am uncomfortable using jump rings is when I'm doing like a Byzantine. So there's lots of jump rings, and together all the jump rings have added strength, so it doesn't like pry itself apart. Especially when you're working with copper, because copper can be very malleable. So there's that. Now we're going to trim that off. Okay. And then set my scraps there. Lay that down like so. Okay. So now I got 2 links. So we're going to go 7 on her chakra. So the next one is going to be her sacral chakra. Keeps telling me carnelian, but I don't like it with the flow of this because we're going to get into some purples and blues. What about amber? Let's ask Hermione. For the sacral chakra, is amber going to work, Hermione? Okay, no amber. Okay. All right. Well, my first impression is carnelian. Is carnelian going to be activated first? So or sacral. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we're doing carnelian for this one too. Where? Right here. Okay, carnelian. Okay. So I go about an inch and a half. Well, yeah, probably closer to an inch and a half. Tail. I hold the link here. Okay. Like so. Snip this end off. Oops. Got my beard. Alrighty. The next one. So, like I said, with the carnelian bead, it helps with that inner love. That's where my inner child keeps telling me the mother bear with her bear cubs in her den. That's that loving energy, that homey inner love, like that hug from inside. That's what carnelian helps access. So when you tap into that frequency, you're coming through a place of love, which is why you have carnelian. Also helps boost your vitality. When you're feeling empowered through love, I mean, you really start feeling unstoppable. So it's like a lot of your vitality comes from this area of your gut. You got the base of the root, the spine with your root chakra. You got your sacral plexus, which comes up through the organs, and then you got your solar plexus that's here at your stomach, and then your heart, and then your throat, and third eye, and so on, right? Well, those chakras also play a part in your body's health. So if you have an ailment in certain areas of your body, there is a blockage within that chakra system. It could be just certain threads to certain points, it could be all sorts of things. But working with your energy, you can help free those and get energy flow going into those areas, and then the body starts healing itself. So make sure you're taking time to flush your system. Do fasting. Fasting, I can't express being so powerful, just for your physical health. Fasting is, and I don't say go extreme. If you can only do like a 12-hour fast, do it. Because in that 12 hours, your body has used more energy to heal rather than digest. So that's why I talk about fasting, is because if you've got actual physical afflictions in your body, allow the body to put energy forth to the affliction. If you're constantly eating and consuming while your body's afflicted with things, then the body's just exhausting its energy for the immediate rush of what you're putting into it. So fasting is very healing. Also, fasting, it challenges your mind that I am in control. My body's not in control. I am in control. My soul, I know what's good for me, right? So, fasting your body, because a lot of people, when they experience hunger cravings, it's very similar to a drug addiction. It comes from the same spot, that desire, that need, I need to have it, right? So, when we're feeling hungry, in a way it's psychologically similar to an addiction. But doing fasting periodically reminds your body who's in control. I want to heal, I want to do this, and I can overcome. So when you go against the grain of stop eating 3 meals a day, like I do 1 meal a day, and I'm comfortable with that. It works for me. I love it. I don't binge eat. I don't snack. I'm not a big whatever. I like my drinks, sure. So I'm making teas. I'm making, I like my beverages, but I'm not really consuming, sodas. I don't consume a lot of alcohol, beer every once in a while, but it's just most of my drinking is mineral water. And I'm just, oh shoot. We'll save this for the next side. Oh, that's so funny. I just linked it without thinking. But yeah, fasting is it's powerful. It's revolutionary. When I started doing it, my spiritual enlightenment, and it was enhanced. And there's a reason why God talked about it in the Bible, the power of fasting. It allows you to really access your higher self. It allows you to access your inner self, your true potential. It allows you to communicate and build that relationship with your inner child. Fasting is very, very important. So I do mine, I do 24-hour fast because I eat 1 meal a day, right? But I go on 48 and 72-hour fast occasionally, especially when I'm trying to grow, or I'm feeling blocked, or I'm feeling whatever, or if I'm just sick. If I'm sick, I don't eat. Okay, I just flush my body, give it nutrition, give it the minerals, give it what it needs, but I don't eat food. Okay, I just get my mineral salts and drink my water, stay hydrated, you know. So, and that's that misnomer. Oh, you need to eat food so you can energize your body. No, actually, it makes your healing last longer. Like when we had that incident in 2020, I didn't get sick until I went into a hospital. So when I got sick, my sickness only lasted like 3 days because this is my belief. It's like, okay, let the body heal, right? So my sickness, when I got the virus, if you will, it was while I was in a hospital. I was totally fine until I went to the hospital to have my little baby, and we both got it. So I feel like they made us sick, but anyway, that's another story. But I overcame in just a couple days working on those methods: the breathing, the flushing, get your electrolytes in, all your mineral salts, and sleep. Allow the body to heal. Don't exert yourself. If you're not feeling well, that's your body saying, yo, I need to slow down. And listen to it. Because when you slow down and just rest and have a lazy day, you're conserving your energy. And that energy that the body's already producing is just applying it to what needs to be healed. So it's like if you're not exerting yourself while you're not feeling well, You know, it's, oh, I almost did it again. It's super important that you give your body the time it needs. And I think that's one of the things why I wanted to work on my sovereignty, was because working a matrix job not didn't really adequately provide what I needed when I needed it. You know, it's always like, well, you got to do your hours. Oh, your paycheck's going to be affected. You know, and it's like, no, I don't like that. If I'm having a rough day and I don't want to work, I don't want to work. You know, and now that I'm here with my sovereignty that I worked so hard to achieve, I'm glad that I can be able to have a day of, you know, I'm just gonna absorb knowledge today. I'm gonna lay on the couch, we're gonna absorb knowledge. I'm gonna meditate, I'm gonna pray, I'm gonna do what I gotta do, right? And it's just to give me that time to just be me. Be still, be in my own presence. I think a lot of us get so busy in life, we forget to take that time for ourselves, especially single parents. I'm a single parent, and I have to take that time. Now, when I have both my kids with me, it's hard. And that's why I just like, I need a timeout. And I give myself a 10-minute, like, breathing, just like get it out of my system. Activate the Kundalini, get the rush going, get my pineal vibrating. And then it's like, okay, I'm good. It's like, it's so important. The breathing's been coming a lot. So when I do my energy reading tomorrow, a lot of that's going to start coming out. The mushroom people revealed how important it is we breathe and how important it is we get our feet actually in the earth. We're coming into a time where it's not going to be cold anymore for a lot of people, and that's the time, like the flowers, to let ourselves shine. Open up and be like, thank you, God, thank you, sun, thank you, life, thank you, trees. Let's get those feet in that soil. It's so good for us. If it's hot where you're at, do it in the morning, do it at night. You don't need to go out and put your feet in the ground when it's like blistering hot. Be smart about it. Okay, the next one. Solar plexus. Yellow. Tina, I'm doing a different tiger eye for yours. So I have these, they're more ivory. They're super pretty. Yeah, look how, get my hand there. Look how white these are. Very, very yellow and ivory colored. Compared to what you normally see, which are these dark golden ones. Okay. And by the way, your dark golden ones have streaks of blue in it. That's why I chose them. For your other pendulum, it's got blue in it. So you got blue tiger's eye in there. Ooh, that one's broken. Okay. Okay. Ooh, that's a cool one. That's a cool one. Okay, so you're getting an ivory golden tiger's eye with your solar plexus on that one. Yeah, that feels good. And it is so. Okay. Get some more wire. Okay. So tiger's eye also helps boost the vitality. Um, it's because it's tied to that solar plexus activation. It helps with that willpower and that drive. But what makes tiger eye so unique, though, is that it's actually a soft mineral. It can dissolve with water, believe it or not. Um, but it's very grounding and very rich in copper and iron and a bunch of other elements that kind of form that mineral, if you will, of the tiger's eye. But tiger's eye, for a lot of people that are on their journey, is a great one to kind of offer that protection. And what I mean by protection is that tiger's eye allows you to enhance that power and force in your aura field that my inner child says threatening, but not threatening in that way, just when that confidence, that's a better word, confidence. So when you're using that solar plexus with the tiger's eye, that confidence starts coming out and it resonates, and people, you know, in a way respect your power. That's kind of what it is. But it's not like with force, it's not with fear. I mean, again, because we're focusing on love with these crystals, um, it is exponentially amplified. That courageousness, that warrior mode, that um, just that inner fire and power within. But the solar plexus also helps bring forth your intentions and manifestations into the physical reality. So as you're working with your solar plexus, this can help channel and manifest the things that you desire in life. You know, it could be I need a car, it could be I need a house, it could be I want to start a humanitarian project, whatever it may be. Using your solar plexus through love can help attract and manifest um, what you desire. So we're going with this one. I went with Ivory. I'm not sure why we went with Ivory, because she's like the dark, but that's what we're going with. They're still the same, just some of this rich in there. Okay. Let's interlink this. Together. So yeah, if you lay down the burrs with your pliers, it saves you a lot of filing your ends. The only time I ever file the ends of my wires is if I'm working with, you know, like say 16 gauge wire. I mean, if you compare it, it's much bigger. So these ones, because when you snip them, they always have a point and they're jagged. I file the ends of these because they're yeah, they're just gonna, when you squeeze the pliers, it stretches it, right? So you don't notice it so much with these. That's why you can fold it down, your thinner wires. But your bigger ones, you got to file your ends. And Danza, you probably are aware of that because you do the chain linking. Like if you're making your own chain links, you do straight cut or whatever you're doing to kind of help with the burrs. Oh, thanks, Mona. Yeah, I do like to teach and poop. Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. So I'm just reading to see if I missed any questions. Yeah, so I that's a good point, Mona. I did kind of answer that, but I'll just kind of summarize what I said. Yeah, a pendulum will stop working with you. Crystals are really weird. Okay, they leave you for whatever reason. It might not be a pleasant experience when you lose a crystal, but they're done working with you at a certain point, and they just kind of figure out how to get away from you. It's so funny. It could fall out of your pocket. It could just randomly disappear. It could be a gift to somebody, you know. So keep that in mind with your pendulums. If they're not responding and you're not trusting the intuition is coming from it, there's a good chance that it's done working with you, and gift it to somebody. Let your intuition guide it somewhere else. You know, someone else is learning. It's like, hey, I got this extra one. Tell me what you think. And then give it to them and see what they think. You know, and the crystal beings do select who they want to work with. And when you're working with these tools, that's why I like when I'm making these someone to give me their crystal. Now, sure, I can connect and I get I'm pretty accurate now with my intuitions, but um, when I make these pendulums, they do work best when I can work with your own chosen crystal. And that's the one that feels good. It fit whatever sensation you get when you pick it up. You're just it's a knowing, an inner knowing. Again, from the sacral and the solar plexus, it feels here. It's like, oh, I feel that. That's cool. So keep that in mind with your pendulums too. But work with it. Always practice with it. I named mine because a name is an activation. And so when I use my pendulum, instead of going through the whole rounds of meditating, going through the rounds of breathing and getting centered, yes, I'm always working on that. But if I'm sitting here and my doing whatever, and all of a sudden an idea comes in, I go grab my pendulum. I don't have to prepare to redo a reading. The activation is saying, Hermione. And I say, have you connected with me? Boom. See how quick that is? It's already swinging in a positive by calling it Hermione. So the word itself, our words are power. Okay. And so when we name something, we're giving an experience into a condensed form. And this works with like sacred geometry. So when we think of sacred geometry, we think of a flat 2D mandala, right? But what we're seeing in a 2D mandala is actually like got depth and it goes in and out. It's flowing in so many ways. But what we perceive it when we see it, it appears 2D because of how it's working. And so it's got depth. So when you're adding a name, you're adding complexity. My inner child names my crystals. Okay, it's just like I'll be sitting here with it, and all of a sudden a name pops up, and I'm like, and then I ponder on the name, and then I get a knowing as to why. So when I say Hermione, as you can see, it just starts swinging. That's confirming to me that we're connected. So now I have an activation based on the name. So I use it to my benefit. Our spelling, they teach us spelling is creating spells. They taught us how to spell things a certain way. There's a reason why they made the English language so damn confusing. Like we use the same word for multiple meanings. It's meant to mislead and deceive. So that's why they do it. But when you can apply a name to something, so I name my cars, for instance. This is my favorite to talk about. I name every vehicle I ever own, and they're usually a female name because I just see an automobile as man's creation, right? And what better way to name a car than to have it as a divine feminine, like because they work through love when they create these things, right? The engineers that are designing it, they do it because they love what they do. Okay. Nowadays, the designs, I'm not so sure about that. I think AI is getting involved in these designs, and that's why they're going the way that they are. So all the LEDs and all the battery stuff, anyway, synthetic stuff. But when we look at like old cars, the old muscle cars, and people restore them, why are they restoring them? Because they are made through love. And there's always that saying in the auto world, never buy a car that was made on a Monday or Tuesday. The best day to buy a car is one that's made on a Wednesday. And you can ask for that when you're buying a new car. What day of the week was this made? And they will know based on its VIN number what day it is. And the VIN number shows the month that it was made, and it's usually in a letter of A through Z. And I think it's the 10th digit. But anyway, it tells you the month that it was made. But you can also find the day of the week. I don't remember which one that is, but you can ask for that. But there's a lot of truth to that. Cars that are made from somebody that's in their game, in their flow, are much better. And they last longer. Same with your home. When you have an abandoned home that is just abandoned and, you know, not anyone living, they kind of just like start collapsing and losing their form. So we are giving life to things everywhere we go, more than we even realize. So when I give a name, for instance, my new home, it's called the Bear Cave. And yes, it's my energy is saying Bat Cave, but bears are kind of more my spiritual things. So, so it's the Bear Cave. That's where we're going. Even my Google, I'm gonna register my home as the Bear Cave. And that's true. It's just when you give something a name, it gives it a form of essence. And that's why in a way we kind of name our kids. We don't just pick a name. Like the name we chose for our kids were divinely given. Tina, you're getting rose quartz for your heart chakra on this one. Hold on. Nope. Rhodochrosite. Hermione. All right, Hermione. For Tina's, are we working with rhodochrosite? Are we working with rose quartz? Okay. Yeah. Rhodochrosite. That's what we're using. Okay. Pull out my other bead box. I have an apothecary of crystals I'm coming to find. Ooh, those are... I forgot I had those. Ooh, Tina. Around the back side of your Lemurian, we're going to do terminated quartz crystal that goes around the back of your neck for that energy amplification. Oh. Okay. I don't like that. They're smaller. That's the only ones I have. Okay. Just go with it, right? Don't question the pendulum. It gives you an answer you need to know. I'm like, in my mind, I'm doubting it and being like, let's go with pink opal. Let's go with pink opal. And I'm just like, no, we're going to stick with what our reading said. My intuition. So rhodochrosite, I love this one. It's a transformational crystal. This is for your evolutionary, I am changing who I am. I am on the verge of evolving and becoming something new. I am growing. So this one is a very highly energetic crystal for transformation, working on you, working with your divine feminine, strengthening who you are. Okay? And that really comes to your own understanding of who am I? I mean, truly, who am I? That's the thing that we ask a lot. I ask it still. Who am I? So the rhodochrosite is one that is focused in on that who am I? And it also helps give you that courage that, yes, I can. If it feels good, yes, I can do it. I can go after it. So you're getting a heart-centered heart chakra frequency from the rhodochrosite, but it works in conjunction with your kundalini here that gives you that willpower of, yes, I am going to change it. I am going to bring my light. I know my purpose. My purpose is wondering, who am I? What is my purpose? It's keep learning and growing. Like, it's so simple. It really is so simple. So the rhodochrosite is very transformational. It is highly energetic. And Tina, since I've been talking with you for a little bit, yeah, this is going to be that perfect love stone for you, to help amplify your heart's frequency. Your heart's frequency is what creates your energy field. Your energy field comes from the heart. It comes from everything here. So the way you radiate comes from the heart. So as you're working on these chakras coming up to the heart, we are amplifying our field, our energy, our light. We're becoming a lighthouse, a beacon of hope, a beacon of love. So when you're working with your heart chakra, be mindful of that. Be kind to yourself. Love yourself. Now, why is the heart chakra tied to green and purple? Well, that's because the heart has a divine masculine and feminine twin flame going on in its coils. The heart organ is literally a slab of meat that's like rolled up into there. Okay, it's a vortex. It's a vortex center. Think of a torus field. If you see the donut shape, right, and the hole in the middle, and its energy's coming up and out, right? It's doing this, and it's in the donut shape. That heart center, that vortex, that's this for your energy field. This has to be working good for any healing to happen in your body. Work on this. This is that like everything happens from here. When you work from here, it's like everything begins. Your manifestations almost become instant, working from the heart chakra. And that is your kundalini, the heart, from your root to your heart, right here, your kundalini. This is everything about you. Okay, it is so important that we access all of this because this is you. This is you. Okay, your body. So we're going with the rhodochrosite, the divine feminine empowerment. And I like to think of the malachite as the divine masculine empowerment in relation to these crystals. They're they both are very transformative, but one is more focused on one energy and the other. So, so your other pendulum with your golden topaz, you have the malachite. So that's working with more of your masculine, your fire within, your masculine energy, your force. But we don't force love. There can be no force. Love, there always has to be a choice. So when said incident happened in 2020, we weren't given a choice. I mean, we really were. We were challenged with our choice and our discernment and all that, right? And those of us, we were some of us were the rebels where we didn't wear masks and do our things, right? We didn't get the jab or whatever. Okay? But many people out of fear, they didn't have a choice. They were faced with losing their job. They were faced with, how am I going to feed my family? They were faced with so many things, and out of fear, they complied. But they're learning now. And there's so many ways of people that are coming out to help heal those that did get it. There are ways of detoxing and purging all of it in your body. It's hard. You have to be committed, but you can undo what's been done. And it all starts with here. Believe that you can, and turn off the technology. The technology is, well, do your own research. I encourage you to find it, but the technology plays its part with the jab. Because if you know anything about it, look at 6G. How are they doing 6G? It only affects those that got the injections. Okay? Do your research. It's amazing. All right, next one, throat chakra. So once we develop all of this inner love, this inner passion, this inner, okay, here I am. This is me. This is who I am. Here, this is my purpose. It's right here going within. Now we need to vocalize it. We need to project it. The best way to project it is just like as God said in the book of Genesis. He spoke it into existence. He said, let there be light, and it was so. And he created a greater light and a lesser light. He spoke it. So he created a frequency and energy through our throat chakra. Okay? So once we feel this here, this empowers the throat chakra so that we can speak our truth. We can speak our love. We can speak our kindness. We can speak it. We can actually ohm. We can heal. When we're ohming with ourselves, with our body, we're creating an energy bubble of sound around us through our throat chakra activation. When we're working with people, when we're loving them, when we embrace them and we feel that warmth, what happens? Our throat chokes up. Every time we're feeling so much intense, loving emotion, we choke up here. Let it go. Vocalize what's feeling. It could just be a sound, a sigh. It could be a verbally cry like, whatever it is. When we choke up here and we're feeling so much love, let it go. That's the throat chakra activation. The one that's chosen for this is lapis lazuli. Lapis lazuli is my favorite for the throat chakra. It is such a powerful one, so magical. Do your own research on it. You will be amazed what you find about lapis lazuli. No, I want a dark one. Tina, it's not going to go... Yeah, well, we're going to... Yeah, okay. I was going to do a round bead for you, but this one looks amazing, so it's going in there. We'll get two of them. Oh, yeah. I forgot I had these. I use these in Brother Jimmy's necklace too because they had so much pyrite in them. Yeah. And they're UV reactive, so you got a red light. They're kind of cool to look at. They go orange. So, well, my light sucks. Let me see if I can do it. Nope. I need a ring light right behind my phone so you can see. Actually, let's do that real quick. Let's bring my little thing here. Come over. Bring it down. Set this over. Twist it. Ah. Okay, let's try that. It's really bright in my face, but it is what it is. Okay, so there we go. Look at all that pyrite that's in there. This thing is sparkling. Okay. Anyway, so you're going with lapis lazuli. So I love working with lapis lazuli. And we're going to go into some of my understanding about the Egyptians with this one because they prized it. And there's a reason they prized it. God, where do I even begin? There's so much. Okay. Oh, I'm already done with my... No, okay, it's hiding behind my quartz. Perfect. Okay. These pliers here. All right, so actually I want to start with the geology of pyrite. So lapis lazuli, I mean. So lapis lazuli, it's got a few sediment and minerals that compose it. The gold fleck and speckle that you see in lapis lazuli is actually pyrite. And pyrite is a very interesting mineral because it is a cubic geometric shape, meaning its crystalline structure takes the form of a perfect cube. So what in the terms of geometry, what do cubes do? Cubes contain energy. This is why mineral salts are so amazing for it, because it actually absorbs negative energy and then it locks it into place like a prison. Okay, so your cubic minerals are really great for trapping that negative energy and then transmuting it. So as we're metabolizing our mineral salts, as our bodies are depleting and doing what it needs to, the pyrite is very essential in this same process. So I like using the pyrite and the lapis lazuli because if you do have doubts, if you do have fears, you can actually access that element in the stone to contain that so it can be transmuted. So that way you don't have to deal with the blunt of, oh, I don't know if I can do this. It's just like trust, breathe, and then off you go, which is why it's so amazing. So lapis lazuli is formed with pyrite. That's what gives it its protective qualities, is its ability to actually hold or trap negative energy. Okay, but this is where it gets interesting, is because now we're going into the sodalite, and sodalite is, again, it's very a mineral, but it's a hardened mineral that has the hardness, I think, of 6.5 to 7, if I recall correctly, which means it's very dense and very good energy, and that is what gives it the lapis lazuli its UV iridescence under an ultraviolet light. Is the sodalite that's in there. So what the sodalite does working with the pyrite is that it actually helps with that transmutation of the energy. And then we've got the blue that comes from the mineral of the lapis. So your lapis is that really brilliant blue, and it's actually the Egyptians adorn. They love it. There are not a lot of things in this world that give you the color blue. Okay, like dyes, paints. Like usually you have to like synthesize it in some way. There's not a lot of things to get the color blue, but lapis lazuli ground to a powder was how a lot of these Egyptians were getting their vibrant blues that were put on stone and painted on the sarcophagus and all those other things. That vibrant blue was actually lapis lazuli dust. And they use lapis lazuli to this day to make blue dye, blue ink, blue, like it is a thing. And funny enough, lapis lazuli is pretty abundant. Like it's really an abundant. So I'm not going to get a bead on this one because of the size of this. We're going to keep the length the same, but we're just going to stick with this oval here. So anyway, lapis lazuli is really tied to the third eye. So when you're working with lapis lazuli, you're getting both activation of the throat and the third eye. Okay, the third eye chakra, which is the perfect gap activating from the love center of your heart to bridging from here to here. So it's like it starts getting this flowing really, really good. So the Egyptians, they would use it in, or a lot of times in earrings, because the earrings are tied to the parts of the brain, especially with the third eye. And when you put an earring in your ear, you're tuning your brain to that frequency. So Paula, if you're still watching, I got your Brazilian quartz that I use all the time because of its energy amplification. So it enhances a lot of what I'm doing, with my mind. My manifestations, all that stuff. I take them out to clean them, but they're in there all the time. Yeah, it's amazing. So lapis lazuli helps because of its connection to the third eye, helps channel in your divine intuitions. It helps you connect to source. It helps you connect to God. It helps you connect to your oversoul. It helps you pull in from the Akashic. Any wisdom and knowledge that you're curious about finding, it can be accessed through your third eye. Lapis lazuli is an amazing stone that can do this for you. Yes, it is a very dense stone, but it's a very high vibrational stone. And so, working with all of those and those minerals, you can actually use it to help heal your body, help elevate and evolve your body. So, lapis lazuli is a very common stone that I recommend for a lot of people for a lot of reasons. But it's tied to the throat and the third eye chakra. So, now that we are here and we are in, okay, so now we've got our chakras going here. Now we need one for the third eye. And this is where we're coming into the charoite. Tina, you expressed how amazingly connected you are to charoite, and that's what we're going to use. Charoite for your third eye. But the charoite, because of its vibrancy, is very grounding with the black, I think it's muscovite that's in there that gives it that black. Oops. So we're using charoite, and I made a bracelet with it and kind of talked about it already on one of my other videos, but you can see here the black and the purple and the whites, and it's marbled and it's flowy, it's energetic like tiger's eyes, so it has a sheen to it, but it's like ribbons of sheen, which is really amazing. So charoite is very grounding, but it also activates the third eye and the crown chakra. So as you're working with those glands, this is where you actually can get into that really powerful dream state. This activation here helps you with your meditations. This activation helps you become the receiver to infinite knowledge and wisdom. As you're working on your breathing, you're working on everything going in, charoite helps activate this and facilitate it. But because it's grounding, it helps with the flow of your body. So you can even start doing light work and start pulling in energies through your body to help heal you. So you can pull in the divine energies with your third eye to help the cells in your body start stimulating and repairing and rejuvenating itself. So, yeah, we had a conversation about the multiverse. It's so funny. Okay. Yeah, I do believe in scientific study. And Danza, the best person to research about the scientific studies and what I'm talking about is going to be Joe Dispenza. So look at his works, look at his teachings, look at his YouTube, check out some of his stuff. He's spent his lifetime researching the brain through science and then came into his spiritual awakening. And because everything that he had worked on, he now helps people unlock the true potential of who they are, their brain, the spiritual side of it. So he uses science to explain that. And that's where I pull a lot of my references of my understandings is it started with his research. And then I expanded into more. So science is fascinating, but science can't prove everything. It can't prove everything, but because we're getting more into quantum mechanics, it's Basically, quantum mechanics is the way of explaining what is how we feel. How do we know these things? It's based on feeling. It's based on interpretation. It's based on all of this stuff. Your belief that I can. So it's important that we work on that. So anyway, 11:11. Oh, that's so funny. Solid cut legs. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so I'm in my flow state. Okay, so we're gonna do Charoite for her next one, and then for her crown chakra is going to be, and this is going to go around her neck, is the quartz crystal with black tourmaline. Again, this is for that grounding the nervous system, and where the tourmaline is placed on the back of your neck, it helps with pain relief. It helps with stress and anxiety. It helps with a lot of things. Now, um, the body align detox patch is really great when you press right here on your 33 vertebrae. Putting that detox patch right there or your pain relief patch right there helps the whole body just kind of like relax and flow. So in the mineral kingdom, black terminated quartz crystal, great for that spot. So you can get a chunk of it even and just place it there and allow that energy to start flowing through you. And then obviously you want your heart other hand here on your heart chakra to can make that connection. So you can work with your crystals in that way. So and a lot of my awareness is about the metaphysics. It's come from my own experimentation and practicing and learning how to listen to my body, learning how to listen to their frequencies and the vibrations. And because I continue to practice this, I just am becoming more and more sensitive to it to recognize immediately what's happening. And it takes training, like any muscle, like any ability, like any skill, it takes practice to get good at. And for me, it was a lot of it was just let go of the 3D mindset and focus on the divine as I've come to be aware, the spiritual side. And when I sleep on it, I am awakened to new awarenesses, new abilities, new things that I can't even explain. I don't like it's just I wake up with abilities. Okay? Like Neo in the Matrix. Like that's the only way they can explain it. But it's because before I go to bed, I'm asking and I'm seeking. I'm putting an energy out there. This is what I want to do when I go to sleep. Because our souls never sleep. They are energetic. They are what they are. And so they're off doing what they do. And a lot of times we're not going to remember, but our dreams, they're from us. They're telling us, they're processing, they're sharing information. All of our dreams, they mean something. So if you're having lucid dreams like I have lucid dreams all the freaking time. It's crazy. It's not very often I don't have dreams that I remember. But, oh, I need to bead this one. Forgot. But I lucid dream a lot. And that's kind of where I get a lot of my remembrances, if you will, is because I go through past experiences, past life experiences, and obtain wisdom from things that I've done in parallel lives. You know, I obtain wisdom and knowledge through my own experiences that my oversoul's been on for its soul journey. It's just crazy. It really, it all comes from belief. That's the biggest thing is believing, trusting, allowing the process to work with you. Oh, oh. So funny. Come here. Right into a tuft of my dog's hair. So you're gonna get that, Tina. Okay. Perfect. So Charlight has a very therapeutic quality about it for the body. Um, it kind of gives like a warming feeling sensation, almost like a kind of a hug. Um, but it's like more of like the anxiety, the doubt, the anything based on fear. So if you're getting fearful up here, Charwhite's one that you can actually rub and activate and just kind of help you. Okay, it's going to be okay. Um, yeah, we're just going to be breathing with it. But it offers its motherly energy feels similar to Mookite Jasper that I put on your other one, but this one being so high energy and high frequency is just a little different. Oh, hold on, hold on. Almost did it again. Okay, and I put too much on there. Okay, try this again. Okay, let's try this again. What's really allowed me to understand crystals the most is using them in crystal elixirs. So if I get a new crystal I've never worked with, I'm going to get some distilled water, put it in a glass, and and then what I do is I'll put quartz crystals around my glass with that crystal there. So I'm working with the quartz crystal and that mineral, and we're charging that frequency in the sun. And then this helps me process that information that the crystals are storing. And this comes from those crystal elixirs. But every time I practice with it, it's just, okay, I want to learn how this can help heal the body. And then I drink it before bed. So I drink this elixir before bed, and then I go to sleep with that frequency in my body to help process like what it's going to do for me. And then I wake up with awarenesses of, oh, this can help here, this can help here. Um, like my green aventurine gua sha. I started learning the powers of green aventurine, being a very heart-centered crystal, but I had no idea what it could actually do until I had my own affliction with my face. And I'm dumb. Just made another link. That's so funny. I'm not dumb. I take that back. Cancel. I had an oof. That's a term I've been hearing on kid shows lately. Oops, I oofed. So funny. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Getting kind of long at this. So we are gonna crank this one out. I'm gonna stop talking now that I got this. And we're gonna bust this out. This one here. Okay. So I follow this wire wrapper lady. She does really, really amazing, like divine feminine. Like we're talking like, you think my pieces are big, you see hers. They're like cover the chest, like the whole chest. Um, and she was creating these elemental ones, and it really, really piqued my interest. I want to make an elemental talisman line. So earth, air, fire, water, and ether. We can't forget about that one. The ether. That's the energy. The in-between of what they tell us is empty space. The ether is that in-between. It's how energy moves through everything. It's how sound waves are transmitted when you speak. It's how, like the ether, plays its part in everything around us. So, create a talisman line with the 5 elements. It would be amazing. One day, I got so many customs and get my store caught up with just regular inventory. It's just like when I get to having that free flow of my legacy line, it's when I'm like, okay, I'm caught up. Let's have fun. Let's just create the way I want to create. The way with no just free flow. Like this one. I started it and I just haven't had the spark to finish it. I mean, it's just been sitting here staring at me and it's like, well, you're almost done. And this is like, yeah, I don't have the spark yet to finish it because I want to finish it up. So it's just like it just sits there and encourages me to get to it. But it's like I focus on my business with what I'm doing to help people. Like I believe that I'm helping people. And even if for you it's just pretty, it's just amazing, you like my artistry, you like what I do, great. It's amazing. And I love that we can connect. It's so amazing. And I'm willing to teach. Everything I know I'm willing to teach. I'm not out here to withhold information. We came here to bring and raise and elevate this earth to a higher plane, and that comes with knowledge. And so I'm willing to share. I got it. It was freely given to me by the divine. I'm freely willing to share it. I'm not going to profit off this. Now, my efforts, my physical efforts in this reality, yes, I have to profit off it because that's how I support all of it. So that's why I need to write a book. My knowledge in the book is free, but you're supporting the production of that book to get my message. And I don't even know how to write a book. Just so you know, I don't write. I don't write a lot. It's not something I've been great at. I'm terrible at journaling, but I'm really great at audio blogging. I can get my thoughts out more clearly when I speak it rather than writing it. Because I'm a left-hander and I write in all caps, so it takes forever to write anything. But there's a lot of force that comes from my hand when I write, so it applies energy to what I do. So, like my certificate of authenticity for a lot of this stuff, it's that signature like seals the deal. This is mine. It's an authentic piece of my creation, and it was made just for you. And if it calls to you to send it on its way to another, by all means go do it, because crystals, again, they work in mysterious ways. And so if you're feeling like, hey, I think you should have this, give it. I actually have a friend of mine, he's bought, I don't know, 3 or 4 pieces, and one day I noticed he had none of them, and he was just telling me, he's like, yeah, dude, he's like, I just share the love. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, when someone says they're struggling with things and I happen to be wearing a necklace of yours that's focused on what they're struggling with, I freely hand it to him. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. He's like, this world is about sharing. It's about helping. And if someone needs something, yeah. So he takes my pieces, my creations, and freely gives it to another. And it was the most beautiful story. I'm just like, really? That is so cool. So I have no idea where these crystals are going at this point, but they're finding new owners. They're finding their way around. And I love this. It's amazing. It's so much fun to be a part of this, working with the mineral kingdom. Yes, it sounds all woo-woo, but I'm telling you, outside of this reality feels more real than this reality. I don't know how else to explain it. But we are all meant to bring gifts into this world. We were all meant to do this in some way, shape, form, or another. And it could just be, hey, how are you doing today? That is a gift. To be able to acknowledge that someone's existing and living, that is a gift. It really can be that small. We were meant to do this, to be kind to one another, to share, to help, to empower, to, motivate and inspire, all of it. We were all meant to do something, and whatever that may be. If you don't know what your purpose is, start looking at you. What do I like doing? What interests me? And run with it. If you're a video gamer and that interests you, great, go about it. But start speaking your truth, because that community is a very popular community. Online gaming is huge, but many are being deceived by it. So if you are a gamer and you love playing games like I do, I just don't play online. Nope, that's oops. Um, Start speaking your truth. Start sharing your wisdom. Start helping people. You know, start just speak up. We've been so long have been forced to suppress our voice. So long we've been told not to trust what we're feeling. So long we've been told to fight what our body tells us, and to disagree and to go against what doesn't feel good. It's time for that to end. And the way it ends is just by doing. Stop doing it that way. Do it differently. Okay. So I've made 3 links out of sequence because I get to talking. I'm so sorry. So I'm going to show you how I do fix this. I'm knee deep in oils and crystals. I bet it feels good. Your skin's probably going to be super amazingly soft. That's so funny. So anyway, so if I do it, I'll just do my first link. I'll link in the one, and then I go forth and then continue on my way to link it to the other. And many times as I've done my chain linking in the past, especially like if my little one distracts me, I'll link them in the wrong sequence and I'm like, oh, oops. And have to redo both of them. Just be mindful of that. Okay. Well, I didn't create that. My oversoul did. We were confiding in my pendulum. I had no idea that the 4 of those oils would work so well together. And since we were kind of talking about your intuition behind your logic of mixing that blend together, like I've been kind of dreaming on it. Again, I kind of sleep on it. And I am super excited for this blend. And I'm excited to report back what I uncover with it, because like I said, the ones you sent me, it makes me feel so good. I just love myself. It's just like I become radiant when I use it. I love it. Now, granted, I'm a man, I get it, but I smell like flowers. So I guess that's not a bad, whatever. Anyway, so it's just funny. I really identify with Ferdinand. Remember the bull? The one that they thought was so fierce and mean, and he's just like, I'm not going to do it the old way. We're breaking traditions. Like his whole family line of bulls were all like these, they all got slaughtered in the ring from the matadors. And Ferdinand's just like, but I just want to smell the roses. And he went through that round of his father followed tradition, and his father died as a result of the tradition. And so he decided to break that contract. So I love the story of Ferdinand. It's my favorite. So flowers, I love flowers. And actually, with my kids, I actually teach not to pick them. For many reasons. When you pick a flower, you're taking a food supply from a creature. The plants actually have a feeling, an actual sensation of separation. So if you go and rip or pluck a flower right off the plant, imagine someone going and yanking on your hair and like yanking out a whole bunch of hairs on you. Like that's the comparison of it. So with my kids, I teach them, look, it's beautiful. Flowers are so beautiful. They're amazing. And I love adorning them in the home. But when you pluck a flower, you end its life. And it's only beautiful for a temporary time. But if you leave the flower right where it's at, it gives so much more light and love and energy and vibrancy to so many things around. And when it can live its full life cycle, you'll get to enjoy the flower more, being in its natural state. And so I teach my kids this, and I let them know, like the flower feels that hurt. That plant feels that hurt. Okay, you think this is woo-woo? There's science behind it. Research it. Flowers actually produce an actual frequency, and it can be measured into sound frequency, and it's so cool what the flowers sing. And that 60s or whenever Alice in Wonderland, that original one, when they're talking about the flowers and they're all singing, talking about how the flowers sing, that's really a thing. When they're singing, they are shining bright. The color is coming out, it's bringing life and energy to everything around. I love the flowers. So slow down, take the time to smell the flowers. They do, and they respond. Oh man, all of the studies. There's so many studies out there. It's fascinating. My most favorite one though was the rice study, where they talked to a solution of rice and water and spoke so much negativity to it, and it started rotting and decaying. The other rice was completely preserved. But what was crazy about the study is that they started talking to that rotting rice love and compassion and kindness. They started doing the positive affirmation in front of that, and it started undoing its own rot. Like, that blew my mind, that even something that was decaying can be brought back to life through speaking love and positivity. Just, it's so fascinating. There's a lot of things in this world that we are uncovering right now, and it's through everyone collectively. You want to talk about the second coming of Christ? It's us. We are the Christos energy. And my inner child now calls Yeshua, instead of a prophet or a leader or whatever. My inner child says Yeshua was a superhero. He was a superhero. He did miraculous things because he did his inner work. He had a loving compassion and connection to source. He loved all things around. When he spoke, my Father, he knew that he was God, existing through God in God's experience amongst everyone. We are all God, experiencing God within ourselves in this reality. We're all connected to the source. I don't care what walk of life you have. I don't even care if you're into the occult evil shit. That is still God experiencing God within itself. But if you are into that, start focusing on love, because you hang on to that, you will be done. Your time is at an end. So, if you don't want to perish with it, start focusing on love. And God can forgive us for everything. You think sin is a real thing? Great. If it keeps you in check to focus on your morality, awesome. Focus on that. But don't beat yourself over it if you have mistakes. Okay? The only sin I believe that's ever out there is the sin that we can't forgive ourselves for. No one can atone for what we've done. But what we can do is forgive ourselves for the event and make a change. And making that change to atone for your sin means, how do I give back what I took? And when you focus on a love-centered space, giving back what you took begins to allow you to grow, and you attract abundance, and you create an amazing world for yourself when you're focused on that intention of love. So really the only sin that's out there, so we're at 10 inches. Perfect. We are halfway done. I love this. So now we are going to go work backwards. I've had a lot of messages today. And I think the messages are flowing because I'm preparing for tomorrow for my energy reading from Gaia. I had a dream from the mushroom people and Gaia and the Sasquatch people. They finally came to my dreams. It was crazy. And we were sitting in a council in this dream, and we were talking about what's to come this month in May to help the healing as things and vegetation's coming into light, as the new beginning and growth of everything's happening. So we all sat in the council and we were all discussing what to happen. So all I said was, look, I hear what you're all saying and I'll share what I can, but speak through me when I do my show. Speak through me through the tools that I have. Help me interpret all of this for my audience that's listening or that will listen. Because in the quantum realm, time doesn't exist. So if you're listening to my message a year from now, it may resonate with you in that moment you see it, as if it happened that day. So, yeah. I'm preparing for tomorrow. I've been on this really spiritual journey. And actually, I'm believe it or not, my I'm being called to do another dose of DMT again. Um, for my Reiki tools. So I need to go in and understand, get unhooked, how my Reiki tool works. So I just made this. And it's made with Libyan glass and rainbow titanium quartz. And I thought it was interesting that the channel said use rainbow titanium quartz. I thought it was very interesting because it's a quartz crystal that's treated with titanium. Like they get your titanium, kind of like when you're making your bismuth or whatever, and they just kind of dip it, and it gives it its metallic sheen, that sparkle, that iridescence. Now, angelite crystal has this sheen. So if you want a natural version of this, angelite, the angelite quartz crystal, and I do actually have one. I would love to show it, but it has a pearlescence in it. It's an actual quartz crystal, like a milky quartz crystal, and it has a natural occurring pearlescence, which is super beautiful. But the titanium rainbow quartz, it's the element of the titanium. That's what makes it powerful in addition to the quartz crystal. It's a very dense metal. It's very hard. It's very rigid. It's structured, which is amazing because it gives it foundation. Okay, so when I plan to use my crystals for actual Reiki healings, the titanium quartz gives the foundation to anchor the energy of the light, not through me, but through the crystal. So it takes that blunt of the strain so that my body isn't exhausting its own energy to move Reiki energy. And many practitioners have come into that where they shorten their lifespan through their works. And I'm not about that life. I like to live my life to its fullest. I want to have a med bed that I can actually go and live my life to be several hundred years old because I want to create something amazing in this world. And I need the time to do it. So I'm putting it out there that this new technology we're coming into to help humanity is going to help me live a very wholesome and high vitality life as I live. Now, I would love to be the first 200-year-old person to make it. That would be super cool. But if I'm not, that's cool. That means I'm done with this lifetime. I'm done with that experience. I'm okay to check out. I'm ready to go home, be honest with you. I'm ready to go home. But I'm also excited to bring forth my works here on this earth. There are things I've learned in my astral realm that I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm going to do this here. So I'm learning about bees in my astral world, which is super fascinating. Bees are incredible. So next spring, going to be starting my honey farm. Super excited for that because I need time to get a garden built. And then we're going to start the honey farm next spring. Once things get going, I'm super excited for it. I'm going to start my own mycology cabinet in my house so I can start growing my own culinary mushrooms. So my shiitakes, my cordyceps, the turkey tail, lion's mane. That's one I want to grow my own of, is the lion's mane. So the mushrooms I want to grow are all culinary based. So not psychoactive ones. I just want to grow my own culinary ones as a substitute for meat. So I'm excited for that. I'm going to do it. Oh my gosh, a friend of mine, she is ready to be done with her python that she's had forever. And my girls keep talking to me about getting this python. His name is Flake. And actually, Flake and me connect really deeply. It's actually pretty crazy. Snakes are very interesting creatures. But be mindful of their prowess, if you will. They are predators. And you got to respect them. But I think because of the memory with that snake, I think I'm going to inherit this snake. That's so funny. But it's what all the kids experience. The snake will probably outlive me, to be honest with you. That's so funny. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I keep having dreams. Actually, it'll be my homestead for healing is what's going to be. I saw the sign in a dream. Homestead for healing. Homestead for healing. The focus point is actually going to be working with the equine, so working with horses. I'm being remembered my experiences of working with horses in my youth, and I am being reminded of my connections I share with them. Which is, and I say it that way because every time I wake up from a dream like that, I'm emotional. Like I really wake up with like loving tears. I wake up with so much just embrace when I'm remembering those memories of that life I once lived. So my homestead for healing, again, I'm on this journey of learning Reiki, is to work with horses to enhance the Reiki healing for the body of the soul and the soul. So working with horses, I've been learning how they so horses have a language that they speak at a frequency our ears cannot hear, just like with our dogs. They speak at a frequency we can't hear. And they're chatterboxes. Horses, they like to gossip, they like to joke. They're very funny, by the way. They like to joke. Flatulence, because they know humans respond to it. They love doing it. But what I learned with the horses is that because they're pulsing at a frequency we can't hear, together they can actually do their own version of ohming to help this body resonate. And you can actually have them come together and actually heal your body as I'm working with my crystals and my Reiki energy. So they assist with it. And that's what I want to create for my homestead is a place that I can help people heal like a med bed. But I'm doing it in a natural way. No technology. I'm using what Gaia has provided. Richard talks a lot about my connection to Sasquatch, and I had no idea why I never started looking into it until now. But I come to understand that the Sasquatch were Gaia's record keepers. They were the ones preserving her true knowledge. And I think this is why they've been coming to me more and more and more, is because they understand what my purpose is here. It's like I finally came up to their vibrational frequency and they're like, hey, he's ready. And yeah, so I'm working with the Sasquatch energy a lot, which is why I want my homestead for healing to be what it is a place that you can come and just be relieved of everything that's stressing in you in your life. I want to create an oasis that you can come and leave healed. um, so I'm learning herbology, I'm learning herbs, I'm learning plant medicines, I'm learning um, I want to become an actual psychedelic plant practitioner for people. So I'm really educating myself about how to guide people through those journeys. Um, and this is more the shamanic past that I had. I had a past life as a Native American shaman, and I don't remember the name of the tribe. It was weird how they spoke it, so I can't pronounce it. But it's a tribe that existed here that was written off of history. So they were one of the tribes that they just get coupled in with others, but they were their own tribe, and they were so spiritual and sacred for the earth healing that they literally were wiped out genocidally and scratched from all existence. The natives forgot their existence even, so they're way ancient. Anyway, it's another story, another journey, another experience. But yeah, it just so I'm remembering all of this lifetime to bring forth this healing into Earth. And my job was to find balance and harmony in a biodiverse ecosystem, um, so that humans can live in harmony with nature. And so I'm going to create my homestead for healing. It's one of those that you can come on a daily, like come and I'll have it open during a time. You just come and be there. Sure, I'll have a few animals and chickens. Bring your children. I'll teach them how to interact with these animals. It's a way for people that have never had the experience of what, so they can get a taste. I want to do gardening classes so I can teach people how to cultivate their own food in their apartments. Cultivate their own food um, in any way, and to give the children an experience that, holy cow, this is how you do it. But also teach electroculture. Teach how to amplify this so that you can maximize your crop output. Like, I want to be able to do these things in my homestead that will help people heal themselves, that'll help people educate themselves. It's just like Christ said in the Bible. You show, the fisherman's story. Sure, you may be able to feed the man a day by giving him a fish, but you can feed him and his family for life by teaching him how to fish. And for me, I come to realize that part of my purpose here is to educate people how to do this, because many don't know. And I'm accessing this knowledge through my oversoul. I'm doing my inner work and my spiritual growth that way, and I'm being revealed how to do it the way the ancients did it. How did they thrive without all this GMO and artificial? Like, truly, how did they do it? And so that's what we're remembering back into existence. Remembering back into existence. Oh, that's so amazing, Paula. Thank you. I very much enjoy teaching. And it's really my focus is the children. Like the Sasquatch, they're very tied to childlike energy, the inner child within you. And now that I know and speak and interact with my inner child a lot, it really has exponentially developed my relationship with my own children. So much that other children, my oldest, for instance, her one friend, just she gets envious because of how I am, and her dad isn't like that. He's very abusive. And I just remind her, I was like, well, if you like what you see, then know that you're coming into that time where you get to choose who you want in your life. And if you don't like how your dad is, and you vibe with what I do, then use me as a model to attract that kind of man into your life, or partner, female, whatever it may be. Attract those kind of people. If you like this in me, focus on attracting that into your life. If your parents are meant to teach you a lesson here, okay, and you're learning it, but you're coming into adulthood. You're going to be 18. You're going to do your own thing. I guarantee your parents are probably going to say, "See ya," But attract the kind of people. If you're envious of how I'm different from your dad, attract those kind of people, because you get to choose. And so it's I like to encourage the youth to start thinking for themselves, and in a way, because they're so young, they feel empowered. Oh, it's like a lot of these young kids, they see the corruption, they feel the corruption, they just don't know what they're feeling. And so it's when they can be acknowledged and empowered to go and make something of themselves, they find their own journey. It gets them along in their way. And I love doing that for kids. So my homestead for healing will be open for the youth. If you want to just come pet the horses, freaking come. But it's also, I want to be so rural that I deter the city folk, hordes of people. So I have to be like, oh, the only way to get there, it's like a 3-hour drive, you know. So you have to plan to make the trip. Like that's what I want, is to have it in an area that I can eliminate tourism. I don't want tourism because, well, all that energy can be exhausted in a homestead. So, and if it needs to be, I can book your reservations to come visit, but it's the local community that I allow, like kids that I get to meet, the ones I interact with their parents, like that. That's where I'm like, yeah, come on down, come hang out with the animals. That's what I mean, the locals. Get them involved in community. Start teaching them how to grow. I do want an orchard because I need to have um, produce going year round for a lot of my stuff, like apple cheesecake and my berry bushes. And I want to create an orchard that allows community families to adopt a tree. So the communities can say they can't grow an amazing tree or whatever, but they can adopt one and inherit it to their children on my stead. And then when the tree produces its fruits, they're welcome to come and harvest. And if they don't, their fruits will be donated. And I don't make profit off of this. It's like I want to create a stead that people can contribute to healing this earth, can work together to bring light and love into this world. And I speak it because they're my dreams. I just have them, and it feels good. I wake up crying because I'm just like, wow, that was so beautiful. So that's what I want to do. It feels good. It feels right. So I'm being called to do it. Yep, Paula. I will make sure I have a portal center right where in my stead is, so that anyone in our community, our soul tribe, can come. Danza, that means you. Tina, that means you. Mona, Cindy, all of you. We're all going to live a very abundant and wholesome life. You are not old, you are young. And you are beautiful and you are amazing. Love yourself, truly. Can't see. It's just beautiful. What a wondrous time we live in, huh? It's just amazing. So I need to stop with my hands for a minute. So to show you, my Reiki tool is a device like this. So the idea is that I can pull light energy in through this titanium quartz, and I can amplify it through the Libyan glass, which is formed from lightning. Libyan glass is made right from lightning and the sands of the earth, and it's instantly formed. The second the sands strike down in that region, Libya, for instance, that's why it's called Libyan glass, is it's found in Libya, and there's an electromagnetic ley line, so there's a certain frequency in that area. But when the lightning strikes down and hits the sands, it forms these crystals instantaneously. And these crystals, because they are hot and are supersededly cooled, energetically, they harness that lightning energy. And so what I'm learning with the Reiki tools is that through my hands, I can actually, these are getting hot, by the way. I can move the energy within my field without taking a toll on my nervous system. So I'm connecting to the divine through here to pass through me as a conduit rather than me doing the energy work. So this is a divine connection with my Reiki healing. And so I'm going to be using this in a way to kind of help the body heal, and like the med bed practice. I'm just doing it in a natural way. And then the blunt of the energy flow is through this pendulum that I created. Very hyper energetic, focused in on the body. But this crystal literally told me the knowledge it carries is for healing. This crystal, literally, it's a dragon energy in it, and it was made for earth healing. And it was by chance, and I found these. But I went through a deep dive in the metaphysical realm, my astral realm, to find out the importance of these. And I created this as a healer's pendulum. So what this does now is energetically, I'm pulling the light through my hands to bring it in, but I'm using this crystal to actually move it and manipulate it within the body. And I'm allowing the crystal energy to do this rather than me do this. I'm just creating the transmission, the connection to the divine. I'm creating all of that flow to happen But the healing, it really is just you. I'm synchronizing with your frequency, and your body is healing. And the divine is working through both me and the body, whatever I'm working on. The divine is flowing the light code in through us so that we can heal. Really, the crystals are just facilitating the energy movement, but your body, your belief is what is doing the healing. And get on Gaia Network. Look at actual like healers, the healer stuff. There's so much in there that talks about how energy healers are actually curing people of ailments. And it's all based on vibration, energy, frequency. Who also says that? Nikola Tesla. And yet science can now show, demonstrate. Look at the one with the ultrasound with that tumor in the lady's bladder. Look at that one. They started doing a chant, and within minutes, the tumor went away, was gone, disappeared, no surgery. And they observed it with an ultrasound right there. So in a few minutes, it went from tumorous and causing her pain near death experience to nothing in minutes. There's nothing magic about it. It's learning how to harness what's already given to us. This earth was meant for us to inherit. We're meant to use this earth to help us. And so when we connect to the divine in our alignment in things, it's now being measured in science. Science is showing, I don't understand how it worked, but it worked. And really, it comes from that spiritual connection. Knowing who you are. Who am I? Who am I? Focus in on that. Who am I? So there's a lot of the science has been silenced, that people have proven in science how to cure people. They've been silenced because there's no money to be made in somebody that's cured. There's no money to be made in somebody that doesn't need you. There's no money to be made in a system that was built on lies and deception. So it's important that we focus on our true gifts and potential, our power. And that is, who am I? And for me to know who I am, I had to break away from a religious construction in my life. I was born and raised LDS. I had to break from that system to actually unlock, who am I? Who am I? What am I doing here? Now, I think most of the followers in that faith are amazing and great people. We love them. I love them most, and their service to community is really why I love the LDS people. They love jumping in and helping. If a family says, "Hey, we're struggling," the community of them bring food for the family and help feed them. Like there's a lot of pros that come from the followers. But for your own spiritual growth, you need to understand who you are and what you are. Do not give your power away to other things. You are the power. The power lies within you. And it took me to break away from religious structure to realize that power within myself. And I've been on this incredible journey. I love it. I love experiencing this life. I love living it. And it's not easy. Let me tell you, life is freaking hard. It is so hard. So it's like, okay, I got to make the best of it. And when it gets hard, it's like, what am I meant to learn in this so it doesn't happen again? It's like I get real with the situation. It's like, what am I meant to learn in this? I don't want it to happen again. It's just like, and then it's like every single time, breathe, slow down, relax. It's all going to be okay. It's all going to be all right. Let go of your fear. It's all going to be all right. Your future is so bright. Need to wear shades. Oh, Danza said something I meant to respond to. Yeah, we're all going to keep evolving. Yeah, you're right, Danza. Now I'm not talking. Okay, I wanna. You brought up a good point here. So Danza says darkness isn't necessarily evil. We rest in darkness, roots grow in darkness, everything in balance. Yes, I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of us light workers, we tend to forget that aspect of me. So for me to develop my abilities in loving myself. I had to work on my past traumas, my experiences, the things that kept me in fear. So when I say, yeah, we can't live in fear, we can't do this, that, whatever, we forget to acknowledge how we came into our awareness and our enlightenment, in you, if you will. All of us have our own experiences. We chose to incarnate here in this life. We chose to incarnate here to be in this time for the whole immersive learning experience. Okay, we're meant to experience this game of life to its fullest, and that includes the trials, that includes the misery, the grief, that includes the betrayal, whatever your life path is led on. It includes all of it. You are meant to experience all of it in its entirety. So, how do we overcome our past? How does someone become enlightened? Well, rather than trying to shed the ego, which ego is that darkness, that inner darkness we're talking about here, okay? The ego. But the ego makes our personality. It refines who we are. The ego creates our ability, gives us the ability to create. Our ego gives us our boundaries to protect ourselves. Our ego also helps us defend ourselves. Okay, if it's not resonating, our ego it's so we can't kill the ego. But an overinflated ego, or an ego that has too much darkness going on, inflammation of the ego, as I like to put it, we have to learn how to shed off the tendril. So like a plant, as the plant's growing and getting taller, it's going to lose some of its lower leaves to support what's going up and growing, right? And so like my tropical plants I'm growing in my house, when those die off, we have to shed the ego. We break it off the plant so that it can continue to grow and thrive. But we can't break it off and let it go, okay? A real light healer really understands the balance of our light and darkness. And my inner child keeps talking about Star Wars, okay, and the Mandalorian. So the Mandalorian story of Star Wars, they have what they call the dark saber. And what was revealed to me about the dark saber is that the dark saber was more powerful than the Jedi's light saber. Why is that? I wanted to know. So I had to do a deep astrological, like astral projection to understand the complexity of why they're talking about a lightsaber and a dark saber. Now, the mainstream media demonizes anything that's for healing. And they make it seem like, oh, you shouldn't do that, you can't do that, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So the media demonizes what was meant to be for good. Okay? So the lightsaber, the Jedi, as we come to understand, if you know anything about Star Wars, the lightsaber works through love. Okay? So your lightsaber is focused on that love element. It was focused on that soul connection to source love. That's why the Jedi, using the Force, our own inner body's powers, okay, it comes through with their lightsaber, their shield, their sword. It's one and the same, that twin flame lightsaber. It's your sword and shield. You use your intuition to use your sword as a shield, right? So that's the metaphysical behind the lightsaber. So what makes the dark saber more powerful? Meaning the Mandalorian with the dark saber can't, like, his lightsaber cuts through, or his dark saber cuts through the lightsaber. Why is it so much more powerful? They say, well, it's because of the inversion of light. It sucks the light away. It's the abscess, the void. No, it is not. And this is where it got interesting. The dark saber in the Mandalorian series can only be wielded by somebody with pure heart. It can only be wielded by a specific starseed. Can only be, so that now we're talking Christos energy here in the Star Wars series. You had to have that allspark to be able to wield it. So if you're a part of an evil dark side, whatever in the universe of Star Wars, you could not handle it. So it's kind of like Thor's hammer. You have to have the right stuff to handle Thor's hammer, or the King Arthur with the sword and the stone. Okay, like all of these things talk about the same thing. The dark saber is that. And only someone that is on their hero's journey to help humanity through love, given all of their suffering, all of their pain, all of their trials, and they still chose the light over that. What the dark saber then represents is the integration of the ego and the light. That's why the dark saber becomes more powerful, because the journey that led the Mandalorian to the dark saber prepared them on their hero's journey to wield it. And that dark saber is the truth. And backed with the truth, the emotion tied to it is humility, is acceptance, is gratitude, is empathy, is compassion. And so the dark saber, then, that's why it's more powerful in the term of Star Wars. And that's why there was only one, again, one Christos energy for our existence on this earth. So, hope you like that little parallel. That's what came through on the ego when we're shedding it. It's not getting rid of it, it's integrating it. It's loving those dark parts of you and using it to empower yourself to do better, to grow, to thrive, to help another. I went through my experiences, and let me tell you, in my daughter's world, a lot of youth are questioning suicide. A lot of youth are questioning that. Through my own personal experience, I found truth. Putting a gun to my head and pulling the trigger was, in my mind, was a sure thing. But I was awakened and I was saved. Something happened that caused a misfire. So because of my experience and my journey and learning this, now I see why I had to go through it. Because my daughter's friends are questioning staying here on this earth or not. I can't let my fears and trauma of that experience come out, because that's only going to drive them to do it. Rather, I can say, you know what? Life sucks. It's fucking hard. It's rough. You're still trying to figure out who you are. But I give them the peace of mind knowing that if they choose not to exist here anymore, they are going right home. And they will have an opportunity to redo this again. They'll have the opportunity when they're ready to experience this world in a different day. And this day that's coming, because we're coming to, as the astrologers like to say, the golden age, the age of Aquarius. Oh, I forgot to attach this one. Good thing I caught it before I cut it. But I now, because of that experience, have an opportunity to empower them with their struggles. I have the opportunity to actually speak in a real friendly way through love and just say, look, it's hard, I know, but there is a way. And I give them that peace that if they decide to do that, because it's their choice, okay? I don't want to take that power away from them by projecting my fear, but I do want to empower them to really rethink it. That this pain that they're feeling right now is only temporary. And this pain that we're feeling is actually preparing us for something amazing down the road. We're experiencing this emotion and this struggle in that time of suicide because it's like you're about to wake up to something new. And it's like our indoctrination wants us to fear it. It's like, oh, I can't have this. Oh, I can't feel that. Oh, I can't experience this. It's like, well, who? Why? Why can't you? You know, if you want to go and have a hard life and choose the things that you do, go do it. Because it's only going to prepare you for what's to come else in your life. I don't recommend it. I highly encourage you to not choose that path. But if that's what you decide to do, I will open space for you to heal when you're done experimenting, doing what you want to do, right? And I will still love you the same. But you know, it's nice that I have that experience because I can help guide some of these children that are really questioning their own existence. Even my own daughter. She questions a lot of things, and she was told a lot of things, and she was shown a lot of evil in this world. My daughter went through her rounds of hell, truly. And I'm grateful that I've had the experiences that I had because it prepared me to be right here in this time today. And that is the integration of the ego, the darkness. It empowers you, it strengthens your light. The darkness strengthens your light, as we shared with you in the parallel of the dark saber. It strengthens your light. It gives it foundation. It gives it compassion and empathy. Working on the darkness, healing it so that, like your triggers. If you're triggered by something or triggered by how someone talks or triggered by anything by somebody else that's a mirror of you, that means that there's something in you coming out. That's a tendril of the ego, the darkness, coming out, and it's being shown to you through somebody like a hologram. Now, they are real people. I'm not saying they're hologram. They are actually beings. They're real people. But maybe, perhaps, their script to trigger you was put there to help you heal, to become aware, oh, this person's caused me to be triggered. Why am I being triggered? Oh, it's because it goes back to whatever it does. Then you can go back and think, okay, why was I triggered in that time? It's because this happened. And I think that all this is going to happen. Okay, well, now you know what to do to love yourself through it. Is that awareness of what's causing you to be triggered. And so the universe does it in ways that will help you understand. Some people get it right up front. Some people, it's multiple exposure. Like me with my relationships. It's like I got involved in only a handful of, committed relationships, and they all ended up the exact same way. Why did it end up the exact same way every time? It's because I didn't learn my freaking lessons. I didn't learn to trust in the divine. So the divine said, okay, well, it's going to get harder this time. And each time it got harder and harder and harder. And it literally led me to the point of wanting to commit suicide again, when I was broken, because emotionally that woman destroyed me, demasculated me to the point that I felt so small and broken and little. And I empower men to stand up for themselves with the toxic relationships because of my experience now. We are equal. There is no division between man and woman. We are equal. We are equal. And they say, oh, find your twin flame. No, that's a recipe for chaos. Find the one that enhances your life. Find the one that supports you. Find the one that. And it took me a really bad breakup to finally figure it out, right? And really, what I figured out in all of it is, who am I? What do I value in somebody? See, I felt like I needed a relationship when I got into my last one. I felt like I needed it. And that kind of dependency was a toxic trait. And I didn't even realize that I was exerting a toxic thing because I needed to have that relationship. And then I created that toxicity because I said I needed it. So, hard truth for me to understand. Big pill to swallow. Really hurt. Really hurt. Made me question a lot of things. But had I not had that intervention, that experience to get out of that situation and move out here to Idaho, literally I came out here with $300. No job. I hadn't worked for a year because I was a stay-at-home dad trying to run my crystal business. So I had a terrible resume. And then my last consistent job was like my culinary career, which is like years later. So it's like, for me to get a job, I would have to start at the bottom. And I came out here with $300 in my pocket and a 64 Chevy pickup that I couldn't drive out here because it's all original. It was drivable, but it needed some work because I beat the hell out of it. So that was my journey when I came out here to Idaho. But had I not gone through that anger and that hate and that self-loathing and that self-pity and that, because I felt like I was on a pretty good spiritual journey, and then all of a sudden this rude awakening, and now I'm questioning God again. I'm questioning the source. I'm questioning everything. And I had so much hatred and anger in my heart, and I didn't know how to get it out. So I had a Bruce Almighty experience. Show me a sign, and they're like signs are going by, and he's like, and then he's so angry that it's like the sign's literally like a truck stopped in the road, and he's like, "There's your sign, right?" And then God talks to him. And in my experience, I was overcame with so much love. So much love. I don't even know how to explain it. But I was overcame with so much love that I was enveloped in it. It was this most warming hug. And instantly it softened my heart. And then a voice came into my head and spoke to me. And I thought I was crazy, right? I'm like, shit, I'm talking to myself. But it was an actual audible voice. And I asked, who is this? He says, you know me as Yeshua. And I said, why am I going through this? And he said, be still. He said, be still. You're right exactly where you need to be right now. You have much greatness in store for you. He says, just trust that it will be revealed. And that was all it was said. But in my journey, I was really on the fence about a lot of things. I was angry at the gods. I was just, if you want to call it that, I'm paralleling movie after movie after movie in my head right now. But when he came and spoke to me and embraced me and just gave me love, I'm sitting there at night and I'm looking at the stars. And I start seeing a meteor shower. I'm out in Arco, Idaho. Great place to see the stars. Right there, craters of the moon. That's a great place to see the stars. So Arco is like an hour away from the craters of the moon. So I was out there in the backyard watching the stars, and I'm seeing shooting stars going every which way, and it was every color of the rainbow in all of them. So I was seeing green shoots, I was seeing purple and reds and orange, and it was like the symphony of color explosion was happening all in this moment right after Source just comforted me, reminded me who I was, reminded me that I am me, reminded me that I'm here. And immediately I went inside and made a peace. I got back to work. I literally went inside 3 in the morning, had this spiritual experience. I went from being angry to enlightened, almost like that. And I created my talisman that our sister Tracy, she's the painter on Step Into Your Power. If you don't know who she is, check out her painting. She does very intuitive. I call it oracle painting. She's painting her visions, and she's so amazing at it. But we had connected through Step Into Your Power community, and her paintings just kept calling to me. And then she made this one. When I get moved to my house, you'll be able to see it in the background of my studio because it's so powerful. But it shows the integration of the twin flame, the divine masculine and the divine feminine, into one being. And it's because of it's a power divine feminine, it shows the integration of a strong, powerful divine feminine, lots of love and compassion, holding up the earth with no dome, with no veil, with no anything. This is the painting. And all around there's helix spirals of the DNA, the 3-strand DNA. There's waters above waters and waters in the earth and waters everywhere in this creation. It's an explosion of love and energy. And it called to me. And she's the one that acquired my creation piece when I got back to work. And it had the flower of life here. And it had a black terminated quartz. And I wrapped it, and the flower of life was made from wood. She's very connected to earth like I am, and it was a wooden piece with the terminated quartz crystal, like what we're using in Tina's bracelet. And she now acquired it because I find we connected on such that divine level that, as I felt it suiting, that we both shared our creations with one another. And it was so beautiful. She's like, I don't want to pay. And I'm like, well, then I'm going to give you something. Because I was like, how much? I'll buy it. And she's just like, no, I can't charge for it. And I'm just like, okay, how much? What do you want? And I gave her something special that was special to me. And yeah, she absolutely loves it. It's just beautiful. Ugh. I am sobbing. My nose is plugged up. I'm just filled with so much love and gratitude. I'm just reminded of that experience that led me to right here, right now. It really is that integration of the ego. Shit. Shit. Okay. Because this is my last bead. I gotta do this again. Yeah, light healers can't just focus on light. The light still casts shadow. So if you're shining too bright, it can cast shadow. So it's important that we're conscious of how our light is cast. It's conscious that we're always continually to work on us and focus on empathy and love. And we integrate, because we all make mistakes. I mean, it's just what we do. We're not perfect. We all make mistakes. It's so important that we continue to work on that ego so that it's not inflated. We don't want an overinflated ego because that causes force and destruction, causes fear and chaos. It causes pain, suffering. Okay. Oh, man, I'm just sobbing. My nose. I gotta blow my nose. It was later that year, after my experience, that Tommy Truthful, yeah, about 5 months later. It was about 5 months later, Tommy Truthful shared a post about step into your power. And because I had already had this divine experience, it resonated so deeply with me. I had to join. He just made a post. Check this out. It's the most amazing spiritual community, blah, blah, blah. That was it. Tommy Truthful out. Like it was like a 1 minute spiel about it. And I'm like, and it popped up in my newsfeed. I don't have my messenger notifications activated on my phone because I find the notifications to be distracting with my energy work. So I have all of my apps deactivated so I don't hear the noise and notification. But his popped through, so I'm like, oh, okay, step into your power. That sounds really cool. And then here we are. We are here today. But I trusted in the divine when I heard the voice. And I said, just be still. You got this. You're loved. You got this. That's how I felt. Okay, so we need to make our loopy loop. So we're going to take probably less than that. Okay. So we're going to take, I don't know, 5 inches wire. We're going to make our clasp. So So I just take this and I don't like to do it centered because I'm going to trim one end and use the other to wrap and coil. So I kind of will have it offset about, I don't know, about like that. So when you bring it up, oh, that's at half. Oh, it's so funny. Now I got to straighten this out. So about a third of the way. Okay. So I'm going to have a gap there like so. Okay. Take it and we're going to crimp it down. Okay, as you can see, I fold it in half. Take a little bite on the end there. We're going to tilt it. This helps give me a break to give it some strength here. It also allows me to grab onto this a little bit. So as you can see, I can get it. Kind of have grab, see how it's like, here, I'll just pen it like that. See how it's bent down? And I slide that here to lock it in place. And then we're just going to take it and lay this over till it touches. Okay, like so. Hide my face. Okay. And the reason why I say touch is because we're going to add a back break to center it on our loop that we're going to do right here. So this creates its little reference point here for our loop. Again, we're going to take our small setting here, and I'm accounting for 4 times loop because I want a little bit of loop so I can slide it through the link. So 3 times for my coil, and then 1 extra loop for when it slides past the jump ring on this. Okay, so I'm accounting for 4 loops in my spacing here. So we're going to take this, split it on one side, and then I'll split this one on this side. Okay. So as you can see here, I have it linked together. Let's see if I get it. Yeah. So I have that. So now bring it back over and it'll fit perfectly like so. So then I take this and we're going to make a tail that I can wrap it together to lock everything in place. So this tail will now become this. Okay. Alrighty. So I got a tail I can mop that down onto. I'm going to nip it right off there. Come on. Just got stuck in there. Okay. So as you can see, we got a little tail that's cut off there. Pry that in. Now we're going to use this again. We're going to take all of this around. We're going to button it up just like so. I just remembered my apartment invited us to a luncheon today, a barbecue luncheon for spring. So after this, I might, if it's still going, I might go grab a sandwich or something. I don't even know. I'm focused on this because I love doing this. Okay. So now that's there. Okay, you see how we have our coil set up like so. We got to get that tail cut off. So I like the tail to sit on the inside of the clasp because it keeps the scratchiness from happening on your body. So now that we've got this break here, as I said, we're going to touch it. Then we're going to take this and break it down so that it centers this loop with this loop like a link. So I'm going to have to take this side here. Perfect, perfect. Okay, now you can fold this end right there. And you can take the trims here, snip it right there. Okay. And then fold right there. So cute. Take this end here. Okay. All right. So that is our clasp. And so I have it kind of close enough so that when you clasp it into here, you can see it'll bind just a smidge, so it'll lock it in place without, causing damage. That'll keep it from slipping out. So as you can see this. Okay. So this is how I do my clasps. Wire wrapped clasp, really easy. And then what's nice is if it does stretch open is you can actually just take it and squish it down a little bit. Really easy, just pinch. Copper's pretty malleable. What I found for this little tight bend here, this actually has a lot of anchoring force in it, if you want to look at it. So this actually provides a lot of strength. So you'd think, because this is like 3 ounces of weight on my neck, that if I caught it on something, it would yank and bend that open. No. Yeah, so there's this. Oh, I love you too, Tina. So amazing. Okay, so this is our last link here, Tina. You guys have been on a journey with me. I did not expect this to go very long, but apparently a lot of information had to be said. So we are at the end here. So this is my last clasp. We just made a whole chain link in this video. And we are going to get it finished. Okay. So now we're going to put this down here. Actually, the angled ones. And these ones. I spoke a lot more in this video for Tina because she likes learning about crystals. That way she can rewatch and learn what I was doing in the segments. And I make these videos a lot so that one day when I decide to break them down into shorts, my little segments of information can be made into shorts to share. So it's just like, here's that message. Boom, you don't need to find it in my whole video. So I'm optimizing. Tommy Truthful has agreed to help me with my YouTube a little bit to help me get my page to explode more. And a lot of it is just learning how to use StreamYard, learning how to use all sorts of digital editing materials that I don't know how to do any of this. I'm a physical worker. I like physically working. I like labor intensive jobs. So that's what I know. I know how to work and work with my hands. So this tech stuff, I did not spend as much time as I should have to learn it because I was focused on working and creating. Even as a chef, the office stuff was my least favorite. Paula, I know, and I'm so grateful that you're here with me this entire time. Usually could just come and saying hello is just amazing. I love that. And then you can always come watch it. So Tina, here is your next pendulum necklace with this Lemurian quartz crystal. Okay, I'm just standing back so you can see it. Okay. This is your Lemurian quartz pendulum crystal. Okay, so again, for those of you that have been watching, what we designed and channeled in this moment, weird. Why did I do that? I'm going to adjust this. I did this wrong. I grabbed the wrong bead. So this is supposed to be a lava bead. That's a obsidian, so I'll fix that later. But anyway, so what we got here is the Lemurian quartz crystal. Again, Lemurian quartz crystals carry knowledge embedded from the time of Lemuria. So these are records. Okay. Then we've got our hematite for the energy as we're reading in this. So the energy helps with that energy flow within our aura field and helps clear out everything that's in here. Then we've got the grounding. Well, this is black tourmaline, but that's supposed to be lava bead. And the reason why I chose lava bead for her root chakra was because of its diffuser quality, its ability to absorb oils. So as she's working with her crystal oil healing, this is going to allow her to test it with the readings of this, actually apply it to the crystal. So note to self, if you want a cool stone to apply oils with. So when I apply my oils, by the way, I have a chunk of lava rock. I'll put my oil right on here, and then I energize my body with this. So I put my consecration oils in my body to heal with this, and then I'm massaging my body with this stone. And I also use one of these for my scrub in the shower. By the way, these are very soft, and they're great at scrubbing off the dead skin and stuff, exfoliating your skin. So just a little food for thought. I love lava beads. I use them for a lot. Next, we've got your sacral chakra, which is the carnelian. Then we've got your solar plexus, which is the golden tiger's eye. The heart chakra, we chose the divine feminine of the rhodochrosite. Throat chakra with the lapis lazuli, bridging the third eye with the charoite. And then lastly, we've got the grounding of the crown chakra, the quartz crystals. So as you can see here, we have black tourmaline in these quartz crystal beads. And this is the idea is that it rests around that 33rd vertebrae of your neck to help with your divine connections as you're working through it. So as you can see now, you can see the chakra colors we got going on here. But these quartz crystals with the black tourmaline helps with all of that energy flow. So this is what we created. It's a completely balanced pendulum. If you'd like, Tina, I can test it for you. We're just going to ask this pendulum, is this complete? Okay. All right. I'm going to hold the charoite because that's what I like using. Ooh, this was a strong one. That's going pretty good. All right. Is this pendulum complete? Okay. Is this ready for our sister Tina? Show me the frequency that is in this. Give me a massive pendulum swing. I'll hold my hand out straight. Show me the frequency. Let's hold it up for your camera. So this is going in a positive circular motion, but you can see the amount of swing that this is getting. Ooh, this is getting crazy. So Tina, when you synchronize with your pendulums, this is how you do it. Show me the energy so you can feel its strength. Okay. And then you just kind of absorb this spiral frequency. Look how much swing this is getting. We're getting like a 12-inch swing in this. So you got a very high energy pendulum necklace, as you can see. So I just tuned you a custom one that's extremely powerful, as you can see in this demonstration. I'm super excited to give it to you. And I love it because now you can test your oil blends that come up to you with your lava beads. Super amazing. So this is now a jewelry and a functional piece. Okay. And the cool thing about this design is if you want the crystal to hang lower, just shorten the chain a little bit, and the crystal will hang lower. So you can adjust the length of this, but this should, for you, Tina, rest right over your heart. So if you want to focus on the sacral, lower the crystal down to that area. You want to focus on the solar plexus, lower it down to that. You can adjust the length of this probably a good 6 inches. Okay, before. So yeah, I would say probably your neck is probably a 14-inch neck, I would guess. But a 14 neck would probably make it a choker for you. Well, that's too small, but anyway. But you can shorten it in the length. Okay, so you can have a necklace like so. Or maybe this could be your paisley if you're into the meditation prayer beads. This could be a paisley for you too. So there's many ways that you can utilize these pendulum necklaces for a variety of things. And honestly, if it fits your wrist perfectly, I mean, you could literally take this and wrap it around your wrist and make it a bracelet. I mean, to be honest with you, you just link your crystals in there. Anyway, so there's ways that you can actually work with this in multiple ways, but it is a functional tool. So there you go, Tina. We've finished your projects. So now Tina, she's got one for her crystal knowledge here with the golden topaz, her love energy. And then we've got her divine connected one to her oversoul to do her spiritual works here. I'm going to put that down a little bit. Okay, so she's got two tuned in two different ways. Yes, we use crystals, but here we go. That's where we're at. Okay, so I've got your two creations. They're all made. They're all completed, and I love it. This was so much fun. I did get really deep into pondering these out yesterday, and yesterday with the Lemurian, I was going to finish it because I was so in the flow. And then my oversoul was just like, no, you got some stuff that needs to get put on your website. So I've updated my website with some new items there. Again, I'll talk about it, but I added this one. Okay, this is the tree. The story to this is amazing. Mind you, though, this is not a real stone. This is a man-made one, but it does actually have malachite in there. Okay, and I tell the story about it in there. So it does serve some metaphysical properties, but because it's a man-made one, it's not going to have a high vibrational frequency like, say, a raw stone. So we've got zoisite, ruby zoisite, that was labeled as fancy ruby. So I did some research on it, and I found out fancy ruby is quite literally the gemstones that are faceted and shiny and sparkly. So they labeled this wrong. It's actually ruby zoisite. There was a guy on my stream. I got to edit my post, but he said that it's ruby zoisite, and I was arguing with him saying it's fancy, and I was wrong. So I'm wrong. But then I also got this beautiful agate banded carnelian. And there, metaphysically, the banded carnelian is very structured and reinforced with its energy for the sacral chakra, your den, your bear cub den. You know, that love for you, who am I? That sacral chakra. So the banded allows for that reinforcement. So I added this up to it. So I have been busy a lot. I'm getting caught up in my customs. Kathy, I'm glad that we talked to you. She is actually going to be sending me her crystals to wrap. I had my own, and she was like, well, I have these ones. And I'm like, well, let's use yours. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Deborah, I've got your ruby, and I've got your stuff coming up. Who else is on there? Cynthia, I've got your peridot gem. So that's Jimmy's wife. And then I got... Brother Jimmy, he wanted a pendulum as well. Paula, email me when you're ready for your pendulum. I can get that into my list, but I'm getting shortened down to where I can start free flow creating again. So it's amazing, but I have a feeling this month's going to ramp up, which is why we're going to do our energy reading tomorrow. And also, it's almost my birthday, so that's why I want to do it tomorrow and not on my birthday, because I might be in Utah doing my thing, you know, so who knows? But I'm going to do karaoke tomorrow for my birthday, and it's going to be so much fun. I haven't done it. It's one of my favorite things to do is karaoke. I'll see about trying to get some recordings so you can hear me perform, because I just love doing it. So you get all my soul, my passion. If you're moved by my words on my show, then imagine what I can do with music. Because I studied music through high school. Music really called to me. So I learned about sacred geometry with sound healing before I even knew what it was. So yeah, my birthday is on May 3rd, the Sunday. I'm a 3 baby. So this Sunday is my birthday, and I don't plan on streaming anything. I plan on, I don't know, I might do a psychedelic trip. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But I am being called to do another DMT experience, but the time's not right at this time for me to do it. So, because I'm focused on my business, but once I get to that, my house moved in, I get my stuff going, I have my housewarming party, we get all these things going on. It's going to be, I finally feel okay. I'm ready to receive new. Like I need to get finish this chapter of my life, and that means getting moved into my home that I attracted last August. Okay, I put my affirmation out last August and it happened. So it worked. I worked towards it and I made it work. So I need to close that affirmation so I can set my new one for my homestead for healing. So it took a lot of energy to bring forth my house. It took a lot of energy to cleanse within myself to allow it to be so. And it's postured me to be here. So yeah, happy birthday on Sunday. So that's where we're at. Thank you so very much. I'm excited. And who knows, maybe inspiration will just have me randomly chime in on that day and be like, hey, it's my birthday. Let's have a drink, like whatever, like, I don't know. It is what it is. I just kind of live my life in presence and I'm happy with that. I don't like to make plans. So the fact I scheduled these two, I'm one-upping myself, right? So anyway, thank you guys so very much for tuning in. I appreciate all of you being here with me. Tina, thank you so much for allowing me to do this for you. Like, I really enjoyed this conversation we had today. Just a reminder, my name is Vaughn. I am the owner, creator, and artist of Sweet Roxx Handcrafted Jewelry, and this is my YouTube page, Sweet Roxx Crystal Healing, where I share my crystal knowledge. You can also find all my beautiful materials at sweetroxxhandcraftedjewelry.com. That's again ROXX, just like in my YouTube username. And feel free to hit like and subscribe and share this message. Like, I really do. It might resonate with you well. So to hear the whole message. In the future, I will be breaking all these down into reels, so it'll be easier to share and get 1 or 2 minute videos in instead of these 2.5, 3 hour ones. So these are just my raw footage. This is what I do. I enjoy connecting with you. And we're all sharing energy. Tina, just so you know, when we're working in quantum mechanics, because you're tuned in with me in the creation of this, understand that what I'm channeling in is coming from you too. Okay, this is, as I've been understanding quantum healing, I'm imbuing your essence into it as well, and I've done this. But mind you, I already prepared the connections before I started this video. I spent my morning, 3 hours this morning, actually preparing myself for this video today. And I plan on doing the same for tomorrow with my energy reading. So a lot of breathing. Holy cow, I was getting winded. I was just like, but my third eye was just like, wah, 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 wah. So amazing. So I'm going to close this video. I love you guys so very much. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for saying hello. Thank you for the early birthday wishes. It's coming up. It's going to be exciting. So have a wonderful day. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for all your love and support. And together we created this for... oh, thank you, Mona. Yeah, beautiful pendulum. Yeah, thank you. And I can make your own. I'm learning how to do pendulums as well. So anyway, it's just been amazing. I just love everything. I love you all. And come find me on Step Into Your Power. I kind of unplugged for a bit, but I'm getting reconnected with it again. A lot of it is just because I needed to focus on getting my business going. So many stuff on the back end of my website, just everything. So thank you so very much. You guys have a wonderful day. And we will see you all tomorrow for my energy update for the beginning of May on May 1st. So feel free to come tune in tomorrow, 11:11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, just like today. And then that's what we're going to do. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. That video will probably be 30 minutes or so, not as long as this one. So we will see y'all tomorrow. Bye.